Hi, Rada.
Hey,
Good afternoon, Rada. Hi, Ron.
Hello.
hey.
Nice to see you guys. Admitting more people right now. Ron, this is kind of a good first one for you to enter to look at because oftentimes we do advanced things.
Okay.
This one we're going to do some more primary things, more opening roles and replies to opening roles. Where's me? I'm not here yet. There we are. Okay. Jane won't be here today. She's got PT, but she may join us later. Depends on when that. Okay. Okay, you guys ready?
Hey.
Okay. So as this is not an official class, this is the BG study session. It's less formal, which means that my slides, if I have any, are without many graphics. Okay, so there would be a lot more if this were an actual class. So let us first okay, 3rd of August, 2026. Already August. Oops. We're going to work on opening rolls and replies. Okay. So this is the opening position. But we know that there are 18 quintillion positions on a backgammon board. You put all the checkers in different places. But this is the one that you see the most often, right? Because this happens every single game. Now, I'm trying to bring one more thing here. Okay. So because this is the most common position, it makes sense to learn how to play all the 15 opening rolls. Remember, there are 36 rolls of two six-sided dice. You aren't allowed to roll doubles on the first roll. So that means there's 30. And of those, 1, 2 is the same as 2, 1. 3, 5 is the same as 5, 3. So there's actually 15 opening rolls. And there's multiple ways to play them. So my philosophy, gotta make you guys smaller so I can see this. So of the opening rolls, so we can abbreviate that OR for roll number 1 and replies to the opening rolls, roll 2. So if you win the opening roll, then you can develop your position without interference from your opponent. You might choose to make a point, escape a back checker, or put builders in place to make blocking points or attack. You might also choose to split your back checkers. You can also prepare to make an advanced anchor if you're well ahead in a match. So it's not something you often see, but if somebody is well ahead in the match, you'll see them play a 4-3 by bringing both back checkers up. That increases their chances of making an advanced anchor. So you can make points. Points are good.
Mike, is there a way of seeing I don't see anything of just you on the screen.
Oh, no. Okay, let's start again. Why aren't we seeing that?
I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure what I have to hit here on the
Hmm.
wait a minute. I have the checkerboard. I can see all six people here, but that's all I can see. But I'm not sure if
Oh,
I'm
okay.
doing it.
So what does he have to switch to, guys? You don't want gallery view. You want something else, right?
Let me
Whoops.
You don't mind
One of the side-by-side ones.
Side-by-side view, yeah. Hang on. I can see. Click on view.
On the upper right of your screen, you should see the word view. If you click on that, it gives you options. Mine is set on standard view.
Okay.
And other types of zoom depends on which version you have. Sometimes there are tabs at the top of the screen also.
Says show participants.
Hmm.
And I see, wait, view, show chat. Wait, you know what? Something's not. No. Okay. Okay, I'm in Zoom Workplace. I can see the people on the left. Six people. The view only says participants and invite, mute. Oh. And I have on the top the grid view,
Okay, so that's probably not the one you want.
thumbnail,
Just try
show
clicking one of the
sharing,
other ones and see what happens.
show sharing view, opening rolls and review. Wait, hang on, maybe that's it.
Okay, if you can see opening rolls and replies, that's one of the first slides.
Okay, all right, I can see that.
Okay, so it should now switch to the board.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So let's see, I need to go back here now. Okay, so there's a lot of positions. The opening position is the most common one in all of backgammon because it appears every single game. That's why it makes sense to learn how to play all of the 15 opening rolls of all situations. So we've gone over those opening rolls, and maybe sometimes two and sometimes three ways you can play them, each one. And we did that with the parameters of a professional player playing a professional player. We didn't do it for professional playing an amateur, or maybe you're playing a double match point or a gammon go or a gammon save situation. We didn't do those really. We just did professional versus professional for the 15 opening rolls. Okay. So again, the philosophy of the opening rolls and replies: if you win the opening roll, then you can develop your position without interference from your opponent. Your opponent's still stuck in their opening position. You might choose to make a point, escape a back checker, or put builders in place to make blocking points for attack. You might also choose to split your back checkers, and you can also prepare to make an advanced anchor if you are well ahead in the match. Okay. So each of these guys in turn make points. Points are good. The points can be used by you and not your opponent. They aren't blots that can be sent back. Now notice there's an asterisk there. Okay. Points are good in the opening phase of the game. Because they're your points, they're not open points for your opponent, but they're also good for creating blockades and for attacking. Attacking safely, not blots that might be hit, but points that you can use to continue an attacking game plan or a priming game plan. And they're also really important in a contact game plan when you have anchors inside your opponent's inner board. Okay. But they're not good when you're trying to convert to a racing game, or you're trying to bear in or bear off against contact. So in those cases, you want to start breaking down your points. Okay, so another thing you want to do in the beginning is hit your opponent's blots. You want to send them back, all the way back to the bar. Take away half their roll, or sometimes their whole roll. They can't develop their position until they bring in all of their checkers in from the bar. So you're going to also gain ground in the race. Escape your back checkers. This will give you a tactical advantage. Your advantage comes from having more checkers on the front end. For example, if you escape both your checkers to the midpoint, then you have 15 checkers to contain your opponent's checkers, as opposed to 13 in the beginning when you first started the game. But now you have 15 checkers to contain their checkers. It's easier to make a prime when you have more checkers. It's easier to continue to do an attacking game plan when you have more checkers in the front. Okay. So one term that's become popular in recent years is full freedom. That means you've escaped both of your back checkers from that 24 point, and now you're playing a racing game, essentially. You might want to anchor also. Make an anchor, especially an advanced anchor. If you make an advanced anchor, it makes it very difficult for your opponent to play an attacking game plan or a priming game plan against you. So in this course, we talk about 4 different game plans. The racing game plan, you've broken all contact, or maybe there's actually absolute minimum contact, and you're just racing. And you want to place your checkers in the best places to bear them off quickly. So you bear in properly, and bear off properly. Oh, you know what? Let me check also to make sure that everybody's in that's supposed to be in right here. Yeah, I think, how do I do that? Is there a way that I can look at anybody in the waiting room? I don't know how to do that. Okay. Well, I didn't see anything pop up that said somebody's in the waiting room, so we should be okay. Okay. So you also want to split your back checkers. Okay. Okay, this will help you with hitting their blots and escaping your back checkers and making an advanced anchor. So they're the right times to do that, the right times to split your back checkers. A lot of us, well, when you're a very beginner, you don't want to make blots, so you don't split your back checkers. And sometimes you get trapped back there. Then as we learn more, becoming intermediates and advanced players, we tend to split our checkers too much. Okay? Now, splitting your checkers, it's correct for these reasons right here. But if you're not in any danger of being trapped, maybe they have candlesticks, a lot of checkers stacked on 2 points. You're not really behind a prime. You're not in a rush to split your back checkers. If they're forming a prime in front of you, you want to split your back checkers to get to the edge and either make an anchor there or escape. If they have stacked points, like maybe a lot of checkers on their 8 and 6 point, that might play better for them as an attacking game plan. So you're not worrying about escaping, and they would like to be able to attack you whenever you split. Okay, so you have to know when to split, and after you pass the advanced stage, then you are a little more selective about when you split your back checkers. You don't sit back there so long that you get in trouble, and you don't split when you shouldn't be splitting. So the objectives of making points and splitting your checkers and hitting your opponent's blots, especially making points and hitting your opponent's blots, escaping your back checkers. I say especially those two, hitting blots and making points, they come into conflicts. So sometimes you have to make a choice between whether to build a point or keep your opponent from building a point by hitting them. keeping them from developing. So some players think you should do the harder thing first. It's not always the case. So your goals, basically, making points, hitting blots, escaping your back checkers. These are your goals. Doing the same is your opponents. So conversely, you want to keep your opponent from making points, hitting your blots, and escaping their back checkers. Okay, so that's all part of the opening phase. So now replies, or roll 2, replies to the opening rolls. So my philosophy of the replies. As in the opening roll, you can do the same type of development. But now there might be blots. So now you have to choose to develop your position or slow down the development of your opponent's position. So written a slightly different way, the reply to the opening roll is the second turn of the game. This is the first time there might be a block that can be hit. Now where the block can come from on your opponent's opening roll is from them slotting. That means putting a checker perhaps with a 6-2 on your 5-point. They might bring 2 checkers down from their midpoint. They might run. They might split. And those will give you blots to possibly attack. So the biggest question is it right to make a point or is it right to attack their blots? So there's a system that Knack Battler came up for annotating games. He calls that system nactation. So the ones that we need for the opening roll are $ for a slot. So it's like the letters S and L superimposed. S is for the slot and SL is for slot. Okay, together. D is for bringing 2 checkers down from your midpoint. R is for running your back checkers. And S is split. And those are the nactation codes. And then other ones that are helpful in the opening phase are when you can hit. Okay. And there's different ones for hitting also. X for hitting and splitting, and K for killing, attacking, A for attacking. Okay, so we'll get to those in a sec. Okay. Are there rules for replies to opening rolls? In backgammon, it's hard to say there are any fixed rules. You know what? The only one that we can say is really a rule is in the bear off, and there's no more contact. You and your opponent are bearing off checkers as quickly as you can. If you roll an ace and you have a checker in your ace point, you take it off the ace, right? You don't improve your distribution with that ace. You take a checker off because that's your goal. That's one of the only rules we know for sure, for absolute certainty. That's the only one that can be proven, right? The other, in that situation where you can take a checker off the ace point, if you don't do that, and you choose to smooth your position, it can be proven that it might transpose later on that you use an ace to smooth your position. But that situation may never come again, right? Okay, so if you can hit a blot in your opponent's outer blot, you should do this, is rule number 1. Let's assume that's a rule for right now, okay, as a rule for the opening, replies to the opening rule, okay? And let's say rule number 2 is if your opponent made a point and you can too, do so. So I call this point counterpoint. Okay. So are there any other general rules, or are these general rules that we can memorize? We can try and use them and see if they hold up. And if they are general rules, how do we learn them? There's a lot of replies to opening rolls. And how do we memorize these replies if we can't learn them? Do we really want to memorize them, or do we want to understand them, then choose our move? Okay, so let's look at, see, already here. So let's go to Thought I put it up here. Okay, I'm going to the spreadsheet, which I thought I already had up top here. Well, maybe I don't have it open. Okay, let's make one. We want sheets. We want the opening rolls and replies. And I'm going to stick this up top so we don't lose it again. Okay. So this is something I made up to study. And nactation in this first page right here explains some of the more common nactation, like A is for attack. And the explanation is it stands for attack. Half the roll is played to the inner board, and the other half is played within the inner board. So we'll give you an attack example, double fives if they split. Okay. And here's the rest of them. So the important ones we need in the beginning, opening phase, are hit, skip, kill for now, P for point, S for split. Okay. So the traditional definition is to break an anchor. So that means play 24 in the beginning, 24, you split it with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And the other number you usually bring down from your midpoint. Okay. Up means to move to checkers from your 24 point usually. It could be other points, so you move them from and to, but you bring them both up. Okay. And Z is reverse split. So with the 4-3, you might play 24 to 20 and then drop your other one down from the midpoint. With the Z, you'll play 24 to 21. You won't split as wide, right? And you'll drop your other checker down from your midpoint. Okay. So something that doesn't mean a lot to you guys right now, but I believe that because of the assumptions that nactation makes about the meaning of the symbols, it contains information on the best moves. For example, NAC has something called the where'd it go? So he has something called the hit more 6 rule. And that understanding that and how that applies to unambiguating, is that a word? Nactation. When there can be more than one explanation for how to what the move looks like. If you understand hit more 6 rule, then that'll unambiguate the move. Okay, so this is basic nactation. And this right here, let's make it smaller, I guess. 90 maybe? Yeah, we'll go to 90. Okay, so on the left-hand side are the opening rolls. On the top are the responses to the opening rolls, or replies. So with the point-making rolls, you have 3-1, 4-2. 3-1 makes the 5 point, 4-2 makes the 4 point, 5-3 can make the 3 point, 6-1 can make the bar point, and 6-4 can make the 2 point. So when your opponent makes a point in their inner board, and you roll one of the naturals, one of the point-making numbers, like 3-1, 4-2, 5-3, 6-1. Oops. Let's go. There we go. Then you do the same thing. Okay. So if they make a point with 3-1, 4-2, 5-3, 6-1, or 6-4, and you roll a number that does that, you do the same thing. Write your point also. Except for 6-4. There's more choice with 6-4. Okay. So that knocks out this whole section of replies. We should know these right here, right? Without having to, think too hard about memorizing them. Okay. Now the ones we're going to focus on, so the R's are for running, right? 6-5 is another natural because it goes all the way to the midpoint and this is safe. You don't leave another blot except for the one on the 24 point. 6-4, 6-3, 6-2 can all be played as running from the 24 point out. Down, these two checkers down from your midpoint. 6 splits are 6 played from 24 to 18, and the other checker down from the midpoint. And then the up play, let's see, come down here a little bit. The splits and up can be any of these right here. 5-4 split, et cetera, right? Then there's a deuce splits, where the 5-2 and 3-2. When 3-2 is played as a reverse split. There's the ace splits right here. And these down here are the slots. So what we're interested in today, since we can't, well, we could try, right? But I don't think we really can. We can try and memorize this whole table. But it's better to try and memorize parts of the table at a time and maybe create rules about them. So we'll look at the cases where a little bit. Where they create a blot. And these are all these guys right here. Right, except for the 6-5. They're down. Okay. To create blots. And slots are a little bit different. So those are actually easier to learn. So we're going to try and look at some of this is messy, sorry. Okay. This section right here. Okay. We'll try to answer the question. If they split, then should we hit that blot? Okay, if they create a blot, should we hit that blot? Okay. I think if we look at this table and we look at rule number 1, if you can hit a blot in your opponent's outer board, you should do so. Are there any exceptions? If your opponent rolls 6-4 and they do a split and you roll double twos, should you hit them? Okay, so we can answer that here. If they do a 6-4 split and then you roll double twos right here, should you hit? This table is created after a number of after rollouts, so they can be trusted pretty much. At least 1,296 rollouts for each one. And it says instead of doing something like, let's go to extreme gammon, just so it makes it's easier to see. Okay, no action. And look at the starting position. And they open with a 6-4, right? And no, let's do the other side. That's not the name. We want to change the active player. Okay. If they open with 6-4 and they play it with a split, and that's one of the ways they can play it, then you roll double twos. Is it right to use all 4 of your twos to hit? Or is it better to do something like make this point and make this point? This is often the alternative to double, or this is often the default way to play double twos. So what do you think? Is it right to use all 4 of your deuces to hit this checker right here? What do you guys think? Okay, Kathy, I'm going to pick on you. What do you do?
Well, I'm looking at the chart in front of me. It says yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, geez, I switched to this right. Okay, never mind. Hold on. You're off the hook for a second.
No, I have a different one.
Yeah. Let me stop the share. I need to. It should show it to you though. It should be showing.
No, I'm looking at the one that I shared with you earlier.
Oh, okay. So then you know the answer, right?
Yes.
Let me make sure this is showing. Yeah, it's showing the right thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm looking at something else.
how do you play double twos here? How many of you guys would play 2 down to the 11.2 to the 6 to the 4 point?
It's probably the way I would have played it.
Okay.
Make the points.
And that's probably the way I would have made the play yesterday. Right? Okay. So XG believes that maybe we should hit, right? And I think, gosh, that's a waste of your 4 deuces, right? So I might still make the 2 down, making the 4 point, make the 11 point.
Making 2
against a
points
weak-
seems quite valuable, gentlemen.
I'm sorry?
Making 2 points seems useful.
It's pretty valuable, right? And against a weaker opponent, I might do that. I might still make the 4 point and the 11 point. Okay? Now I'm not sure what actually is going to say on plus plus.
Is there a big difference between them?
Well, we'll see, because I only it should show the rollout value because it's only the second roll of the game. Okay. So these are the questions we're going to ask their answer. If they leave a blot on your 7 point, should you hit it? If they leave a blot on your 5 point, should you hit it? Same thing with 4 point, 3 point, 2 point, 1 point. Okay. So it's fairly sizable right here. It's saying that this play right here is best. Saying that this play is second best.
Making the points.
Because you're challenging the block on the 6th point. And it's saying that the normal standard default play is third best. Okay. And it is, at least on plus plus, it is sizable. Okay. So that rule of if your opponent leaves a blot in their outer board and you can hit it, still holds up. We should hit it even with double twos so far. Okay. Okay, so we have another rule. If your opponent splits to, why is not working here? Set the new one. Okay, so let's say they do a split. Okay. And we can't hit this checker out here. When should we hit this guy right here? When should we hit it? Well,
It'd be 6-4, right?
if they just play 6-4 and split, and now if we have the option to hit it, should we do that? If you have XG and you have BG Blitz, you can use the dice distribution chart. Okay. So if you roll something like 6-1, right? It says, and when you hover over it, I'm not seeing anything. There it is. Okay. If you roll double aces, then it's saying you should play, make this point and make this point. Okay. 2 off the 6 point to make the 5, 2 off this, and send that checker back. So anytime you're going to hit them and make a point, that's double the goodness. Okay. If you roll a 6-1, it's saying make this point right here. Right. 6-1, make the point. And that's good also. Other good rolls are double 4s. Of course, you can hit this guy, right? Hit this checker out here. And it says that you should bring both checkers out to make that point. And then double 5s. You're not hitting this checker here, but you are hitting a checker here. So we'll cover this in more detail later on, right? But basically you want to make 2 inner board points. So that looks like that after double 5s. Okay. And if they have a blot in your inner board point, in your inner board, it's almost always right to do this sort of thing. Okay. If they dance next turn, they don't roll. If they roll a combination of 1s, 3s, and 6s, you can double. Right? And what do you think that means in terms of a take drop? If you double with black, should white take? No, white already has a pass. Because you win so many gammons, you win 38.5% gammons.
Mm.
Okay. So splitting, double 5s, double drop. It's that quick. The game can be that quick, right? Okay. So in the cases where, where's my XG? In cases where they split with 6-4, okay, we know that it's right to hit them on 6-1 because you make the point anyway, double aces. And are there any other oddball ones where you want to hit them? Okay. Hard to see from this chart right here. We can go through and hover over every one of these points. Okay, and I'll tell you what to do. We can also look at the chart. Okay, so if they open 6-4 and down here, kind of hard to see. Can you just a little bit at the, there we go. Okay, you roll a 3-1. It says it's a toss-up between making the point, the 5-point, and hitting. And if you do hit, you should play 24 to 21. Okay. And other than that, 4-2, you can make the 4-point, but it says it's right to hit on that point. 5-3 is going to hit the checker in their outer board. 6-1 are going to hit them and point on them. 6-5, we're going to hit 2 checkers. The checker on your midpoint and a checker on your ace point. And then all the rest of these. So it might be a little bit tedious to go through these today, right now. Right? But all the ones that are highlighted, okay, these are the only ones that refer to when you should be hitting your opponent when they split. Okay, so that's a much smaller subset of this part of the replies to the opening rolls chart. Okay, so let's switch gears right here. Actually, I'm going to take a look and make sure that there's nothing else we talk about before you get to that.
I'm kind of surprised you hit on the 1-point with these.
With which roll?
Like 5-4 and 5-2.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we'll save those, okay? But
Okay.
basically the reason for some of these times you hit on the ace point is because your development moves you can do that can develop for you some way as if it were your opening roll are not as effective, right? Because of their split checkers. They might increase the ways of Okay, so let's go and look at those two cases since Kathy brought it up. Okay, so which opening rolls and which replies are you thinking about?
The 6-4 split, and then the replies are I think it was the 5-2. Let's
There's a
see,
5-2 after a split. Okay,
and 5-4.
and 5-4 is right. So both of these guys are here, right?
Yeah.
So it's saying that you should hit with the 5, right?
Mhm.
Since you can't hit the other blot, and then split your back checkers. So let's look at it in XG. Okay, and let's say you roll a 5-4. Okay. So it's saying hit here and then split. And what you're doing is you're causing a diversion. You're making it safer for you to be able to split your back checkers, okay, by doing this. Okay. So if you try and do something like running away, it's not going to be as effective because maybe they'll just make a point, or they'll have more ways to hit you with not only 3s direct plus 2-1, but also with double 4s and 2-6, right? So a lot more ways to hit this checker that's running. You can no longer bring 2 checkers down to increase the chances that you can make points, right? But by hitting them, it looks like this right here.
It's more of a diversion.
Yep. Exactly what you're doing, you're diverting them and increasing the chance you're going to be able to make an advanced anchor, which is a good thing, right? And then the second best thing is to split again, but now you're not diverting them. Now they can attack you with 1s, 3s, 4s. Those all attack you on this point right here. Okay. So whereas in the beginning of the game, playing 4 and 5 down is really good, but now the situation's changed because they've developed a little more and they can attack you better. Okay. So let's go to five two. And what should we do with the 5-2? It's saying we should hit and then play the 2 to here. Okay. Hit and put the 2. Now you're in direct range of the 6 right here, the 6th blot. Okay. So why is it saying that? It's saying that because now it's safer for you to be able to split from 24 to 22 if you have a diversion. At least that's what I'm calling it. I don't know if the backgammon literature talks about it as diversion. You know, because oftentimes I make up my own terms like constrained points and point counterpoint, things like that. Okay, so same thing. It's significant. Okay? Here's the best play because you're creating diversion, and here's the standard opening roll of splitting. But now there's more going on. Okay. All right, Kathy.
Thanks.
Okay. So let's get back there. Just want to check to make sure that before we switch to going through the match with Steve Sachs, if there's anything else we should be possibly looking at here. Okay, I think it's okay. Okay, so this took a little bit longer than expected, but we can go through and look at more of them later. When they play an opening roll where they create a blot, and then we have a reply where we can possibly hit them, is it right to hit them? Okay, so let me give you one more thing here in terms of rules. So they used to say that if you roll a 6-4, I mean, they roll a 6-4 and they split, you should just ignore this blot and make this point right here, make the 5 point. Okay. But do the blots tell us anything differently? Is this a situation where we possibly can hit that blot? Now, the general rule since the neural nets came on the scene, especially the strong ones about 13, 14 years ago, is that if we hit from the 8 point, we need to bring up the other checker down from the midpoint to help the stripped 8 point. Okay. So that's that was prevailing wisdom. Well, that's prevailing wisdom now with the bots talking to us. But in the old days, they said, no, just make this point right here. Forget about this blot, make this point. And the neural net says, yep, that's still a good play. But look what it's saying about the other. It's saying you can hit, and it's almost exactly the same. This is after an extensive rollout. Probably, what does it say there? 56,023 games rolled out. Okay. And this one too, 56,024 games rolled out. That if you're going to hit, it's almost a toss-up between making the point. Okay. And if you're going to hit, instead of doing this right here, which we started to form a general rule about, we strip the 8 point now. So we're going to bring a checker down to help out this on the front end. That it's saying, instead of that, split these back checkers. Right? So there's still some things that we can learn. And this is almost an exception to if you're going to hit with an ace and you're going to strip your 8 point, bring your checker down. So that would be an exception to that rule that was developed after the neural net said, hey, maybe ignore it, but sometimes it's right to hit it. Okay. And this is better in this case than bring your checker down. Okay. Okay. So now on to the match. There's a lot more of them to get to, but we might be able to create rules that say if they split to our 5 point or our 4 point, we should always hit them. That's almost always true. Are there cases where we hit on the 3 point? Yes. Are there cases where we hit on the 2 point? Yes. And we already saw a couple situations where it's right with the 5, 4, and 5, 2 to hit on the ace point. Okay. Okay. And there is another general rule that we can do, like with the 4, if they split right here, the 4-1, and we roll a 4-1, right? Oops, 4-1.
And hit twice.
Okay. Hit twice, right? Should we hit twice? Well, this is one of the rare cases where you hit in your board, have to have a couple blocks, then yes, we should hit twice. Okay. And that's only because when you hit with that first 4, that checker's not where you want it to be. You'd rather be up here. And then you can keep it going. Okay. So we'll see cases where you can hit on the 4 point with a 2-3. You don't keep it going. You keep it there because that's where you want your checker to be. Okay. So one of the rare cases where you hit twice in your inner board is 4-1 followed by a 4-1. 4-1 split followed by a 4-1. Let's see, it's attacking 2 checkers there. Okay. So X sheet's going to eventually get there and say, yes, there it is. Okay. Hitting 2 is best. Right, a rare situation where it's right. Otherwise, something like this is good. Right? Okay. Okay. Okay, questions about that? Are you guys good with that? Yeah, I'm looking at faces now. Oh, we lost, I guess we lost Ron or anybody else. I don't know who we lost. Okay. Any questions about what we talked about so far in terms of learning the replies to the opening rolls? You guys have memorized everything we talked about today? Okay. Okay. Share the screen. Okay, I think this is, no, it's not where we left off. It was queued a little while ago. We left off at,
Take one checker, so he's
let's find out where we left off. Oh, I know what happened. I had to reboot just before the session started because there was no there's no room left on my hard drive. Okay. So we're at game number 11. So the score is 4-6. So 7 away, 5 away. Okay. Seven away, 4 away. Oh, 5 away. That's right. That's it. Right there, right? 4-6. Game 11, game 12. Yep. Come on back.
ungammonish position. It tends to, if you is a normal. I would make the four. Right. Low on it. That'd be low to find out. Well, again. 5. Recess.
Am I looking at the right game? 4-6, game number 11, and there's only 2 more games left, 11 and 12. So 4-6 is the right score. And that's this one right here. You can go to the beginning of it. Okay, so now that we've done some of these opening rolls and some of the replies to opening rolls, we should be able to breeze through the beginning of these games, right?
The looks like the scoreboard's a little out of frame.
Well, I must have opened a 6-5 and ran. He rolled 6-1 to make his point. Now I rolled 2-1. How are we supposed to play this 2-1? Well, we only have 1 checker back now, right? So maybe we push it a little bit. Or maybe we can still slot to try and equalize to make another point.
Yep. 2-1 here. Interestingly, I can see the scoreboard on the other. Not if I look at the side camera that's showing the 2 of them. I think this play is a slot, by the way. I think you slot the 5 point. Well, he did escape 1 checker, so he's keen not to have a second checker back.
Okay. So Paris thinks that XG says 6-5 is the right play with the ace. And Art's giving the reason for not wanting to have a second checker sent back. So I think Paris might be right in this situation. Okay. So Steve now rolls a 5-2. And he splits the back checker because he's challenging that I only have 1 checker back now and he wants to send another one back with it.
But that said, the slot could be right. 3-4. It's especially based on the score. I want to just I would jump out. He moves like that.
Okay, what do you guys think? 3-4, you think running away is correct? Quiet today. Okay, so stop me if we reach a situation that's kind of murky.
Anyway, let's see if he can hit. That does hit. Yeah, and he does.
Hits me.
And now Michael's looking for a 5. Or 3, 6, or a 9. Yeah, that's good.
Better than dropping one around the corner.
Someone else in the chat also agrees that last game I should have thought about the cube turn before. 2-1 here. This is a bit awkward. Oh.
Okay, what type of game plan is he playing? He's kind of playing a contact game plan, right? Although he's not so bad in the race. He's in pretty good shape in the race, actually. So maybe he's playing a running game to my running game. Okay. So if the race is close, should I be hitting it with the deuce? I risk being sent all the way back and around, right? But maybe that's the right thing to do.
Well, again, let's have a
Or do I, if I'm ahead in the race, maybe I play 6-3 without hitting, right?
look at the range. Given that you have 5 checkers on the 6 point, yeah, and this last checker remaining to escape for white, I think you have to hit and do this. Yeah, you don't love it. Sometimes it is correct to play 6-4 and then advance that checker again, play 6-3 while hitting, just to minimize log counts.
Hitting to keep him from developing. Let me do one thing here. Okay. So the last ones are pretty standard. Hitting, right? He gets me back. And he advances, right? Either that, he has to ruin his distribution over here. So we'll see what if Paris correct. He says he would just hit again with 8-5. Now I no longer have an 8 point.
Especially at a trailing score. Too worried, you're not as worried about gammons as a different score. Play a little more loose like that. Speaking. This position's a little bit awkward. I mean, you do have a lot of contact value, but when Steve eventually makes his 5 and 4 points, it's going to be a really unpleasant position to be in. Low on timing as well. All right, 6-4. There's not much here to do, but to continue building.
Okay, because I'm playing a contact game plan now, right? Which means I'm trying to develop my prime for when I get the blot.
Right.
Use some work to. The 5 point or the 4 point? Yeah, I think the 4 point. I think the 4 point as well. Yeah, I think this is the distribution. Wait, that's legal, right? Yeah, I do think the marshalling. I would make the 4 better distribution of spares. And you're already being primed in pretty well. You're already priming back checkers pretty well anyway, so 5 point isn't such a. Mike is either going to make the 4 point or make the 5 and slot the 3. I'm okay with making the 4 point. Okay. But I won't fault the other players.
These are always close plays.
Yeah, they're not worth, what's clear is there's not worth spending clock time on choosing between them.
Yeah.
So why doesn't Steve play 8-4? He plays the 6 down. He doesn't make the 2-point because you strip your builders. You don't want to play behind the anchor. You want to keep them in front so you have the flexibility to make more points. And after he plays the 6 down, why does he play 6-2? Why doesn't he play 8-4? Playing 8-4 would take away a builder for the 5-point.
Right.
Yeah. He fixes spare distribution, build a 5-point next. Double threes. Okay. Now you might have to break the mid here. Don't. Yeah, you might have to break the mid.
So I thought that was a close play, breaking the mid or just slotting right here.
It's always annoying when you roll like a 6-1 and you're not able to clear the mid. Next roll.
Now we're in a situation where neither player is gammonish. So now we can think about normal cube decisions where Mike in an ungammonish position, 5 away, 3 away.
The cube for sure. Making a 5-point is just
Can take with about 21%, and he probably has that. What's Steve's race here? Steve has 105. Mike has 4666, 98, 142. Wow, big race. Giant racing.
So that means I'm definitely playing not a racing game, not a priming game, not an attacking game. I've got, I got none of the checkers back behind a prime or in my inner board that I'm attacking. I'm playing a contact game. And it's not a bad deal to be far behind inside the contact game plan, right? Because to be behind means you hold your front structure better, longer, right? Because you have more pips to play with.
Let me count that again.
There are probably also close to 10% gammons as well.
105 for Steve. I'm going to count that again. 34, 70, 105 for Steve, and 38, 40, 66, 98, 142 for Mike. So, now I think that I mean, I think it's a take for Mike. I think this is a normal double and take. Steve's biggest threats are clearing the midpoint, because Mike has more than a holding game would normally offer by owning that the 16 point. He can break the midpoint next turn.
Yeah.
His if anything, if this is a take for money, he should be taking at this score. Ooh, I think that's a take, Mike.
Yeah, I think there's barely enough contact value from the 16 point once you break the mid. It is annoying that Steve has a lot of time to make the 5-point, but as long as the 5-point is open, you have a good contact game. So
Okay. So remember I said that I dropped a couple that I should have taken. This is the second one right here. And that's why I studied more of the takes in contact game plans. Okay, so to breeze through this one right here, stop me if, let's see. For the game, I played intermediate, he played world champ, and I took something, I dropped something that I should have taken. Okay, that's a doubling situation I made. And he made an error in not doubling me earlier. I made 2 checker play errors and he made no checker leg errors. Okay. So 6-5 running for me, 6-1 making that point. 2-1. Actually believes I made the right play.
Huh.
This right here, as opposed, but Paris's play of 6-1 slotting is close, and so is this right here also close. Okay. Then from here, roll 5-2. Okay. So correct to split. Let's see, 5-2 from here. Correct to split to challenge my checkers coming around. Okay. And then I rolled a 4-3, and I ran. And actually says anything else would be a blunder, actually, not running. Okay, I'm playing a running game now. Right? And he's playing a contact game plan. Rolls a good number. He hits me with a 6-2. I roll 3-6, and I have an option of playing 19 to 19 or 16 to 10, actually. And I made the point, which is anything else is a 2.5 times whopper. You roll 6-3. What is going on here? No double take. Okay. So 6-3, he plays it correctly by stepping up here to try and escape after he safeties a spot. Because he is now 9 + 6, 15 pips ahead in the race by doing that. Okay. From here, I roll 2-1. And should I have hit like this? Actually says, no, it's better to hit and keep it going. Okay, which Paris thought was correct, right? And anything else is a bit of an error. Okay. Anything else being something like what I just did. And 6-3, bypassing that blot altogether. Okay, so from here you roll 4-1. From here you roll 4-1. He hit me, and he improves the distribution. I roll 3-1, and I hit again. Right? Blunder to do anything else. 4-1. He hits me, and he keeps it going because he doesn't want to destroy his distribution over here. Okay. And 3-2 from here for me. So I chose to make the 22 point, but Paris said in this type of position where I'm behind in the score, I should be hitting here. Okay. And my play was correct. But second is hitting loose right here, right? The hope for these back checkers is to make another anchor, and a deep anchor is just as good. It's fine also. Okay? But why not grab an anchor right now with this right here? 4-3, he runs away. I roll 6-2, and basically all I'm doing is preparing for when I get that blot. Okay? There's lots of ways to do it, and they're all pretty close right here. This is another way. That's another way. Okay. I thought what I chose was the most flexible way. From there, he rolls 6-1. Okay. He keeps his distribution good. I roll 6-4. Again, lots of ways to play it. Actually thinks that it might be right to break the midpoint now. Okay. And then from here, he rolls 3-2. He chooses to make the 4-point instead of the 5-point for better distribution. They're fairly close, but still, the better distribution is better. It is much better. It's about 0.034 better than the the less well distributed. 5-4, lots of ways to play it again. And they're all pretty good right here, but the idea is keep improving your position right here. 6-4, he doesn't play 8-4, which would take a builder away from him because he would strip his 8 point. Okay? So he makes the best play right here. Although XG says it's not too far behind to do this right here. I think if we went plus plus, it might make the difference a little bit bigger than what it has it at right now. Okay. So from this position, I rolled double threes. Okay. Okay. So XG says it's even closer than before, which is interesting. It says that this one and this one are pretty close. Although you'd think that having the extra builder on that, having the builder on the 8 point would be better. Okay. Double threes. Again, trying to improve. What happened to it? Game 11, double threes. What are we? Game 11, right? As opposed to game 12. Game 11.
Why not bring the midpoint down with the double threes?
Right. That's it. So this is what to play, and I have double threes to play. Okay. Why not? The reason for that I didn't break it, I'm running out of time, and I will break this thing happily because I already have the 16 point to contain him. But if I keep this one more turn, it might keep him stop him if he rolls double aces, right? Which is a good thing. He wants to clear this back point, and so one more turn that he can't roll double aces to clear. Okay. So XG says a lot of ways to play it. This is one, leaving a blot there, bringing 2 down, etc. Right? Different ways. And it's saying mine is a slight error. Even though it takes away the double aces from the next turn. And then he doubles. And this was a proper double and a huge take. Okay. I'm sorry, no, it's a no double. He should be doubling it, but it's a huge take. When he did double. Right? But again, this is one part of my game that I looked at more reference positions, looked at more situations where I'm playing a contact game. And we know that it's not so bad in a contact game to be far behind in the race.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this was a bit of a mistake. Big mistake. So the 2 passes were my biggest mistakes in this thing. Okay. And then one more. The final game.
Yeah.
Double threes, can't do that.
See if anyone in the chat is able to check that cube action there. Anyway, we're at
Okay, 5-4. You should be able to see this match score. I mean, and both at this match score and for what he can possibly do. There should be 2 plays that come to mind. The play of the 5-4 in the opening roll is to bring 2 down. That's one way to play it. That one should be rejected more quickly than splitting, because I've already started forming a prime in front of him and running. Right? Those should be considered more highly than 2 down.
check that cube action there.
Yep.
Anyway, we're at let's use that 2 away. Good for him. Now, how aggressive would you say the cube action is for the 5-way player at 5-way 2 away?
5-way 2 away is pretty aggressive if you get to a gammonish position. Interestingly, if you get a non-gammonish position, it tends to be an easy take for the leader. If you're in a race or a holding game, at 2 away, 5 away, you can actually take
We're gonna have to back up.
with about 17%.
Okay. So that's a situation that if you're the leader, it's a non-gammonish position for both sides. And if I double him to 2, if he drops, it gets to 4 away, 2 away, which is a pretty powerful position, which is why you can take more deeply. You can take it as low as 17% in a non-gammonish position, risking another point, because you're not letting me get without a challenge. You're not letting me get to 4 away, 2 away. The worst would be 3 away, 2 away. Okay, so because of the match score, I'm doing something like this. I'm playing 6-3 by hitting, as opposed to playing 6 down and 3, or maybe just plain running, which would make more sense in other match scores. Okay? So I'm playing an aggressive mix-it-up game right here at 5 away, 2 away.
Now, how aggressive would you say the cube action is for the 5-way player at 5 away, 2 away?
5 away, 2 away is pretty aggressive if you get to a gammonish position. Interestingly, if you get a non-gammonish position, it tends to be an easy take for the.
Okay, so 3 should be really quick, right? 1 has to come in, 2 to make the 5 point. Then where do you play your third one? You split the back checkers. Well, you're really not afraid of being trapped here yet, right? So you open yourself up to an attack. So maybe you want to play 8 to 7.
Leader, if you're in a race or a holding game at 2 away, 5 away, you can actually take at with about 17%. Actually,
Steve's taking another picture of this position to see how to play the double aces. He's not sure how to play the final ace.
shockingly, right? It's to avoid getting to that 2 away, 4 away score. And there's a lot of other math involved in it, but it's the.
So he chooses the slot, right? He doesn't want to be exposed to an attack. He's not just automatically splitting his back checkers.
It's the only really low take point within a 5-point match. Is that 2 away, 5 away score?
That's exactly what we discussed with Alex earlier. Okay, double threes, covers and hits. That is
You guys like that play? Would like something else? With double threes.
Good. I like it.
Okay, you like the hit. Do you like
Yep.
dropping one down from the midpoint or keeping him going? If you keep him going, you're taking away the sixes that enter and hit.
Yeah,
So that's why I kept it going.
right.
Right. Oh, by the way, something happened at the in the finals of Monte Carlo when Petco was playing Jason Pack. I'm sorry, no, before the finals, when Jorgen Gronstedt was playing Kenji Shimodaya. Jorgen had only 8.1 seconds left on his clock. I think it's the exact number he had. He rolled his dice hard, and they're spinning. And he stops the clock, picks up his dice, and rolls again. Because while the dice are spinning, his clock is running. Is that legal? Should he have done that? So it's a bit of a controversy right now, but Kenji is a gentleman. And what they don't show on the video is that Kenji gave him permission to do that. To actually stop the clock, pick up his dice, start again. And that probably cost him the match. Okay, so anyway, it's still a developing situation, but it looks like that maybe if Kenji had not said, okay, don't do that. Oh, you don't stop the clock. Jorgen may have very well lost the match on time. Okay. I think this was the semifinals. Okay.
Take point within a 5-point match. Is that 2 away, 5 away score?
Yeah, that's exactly what we discussed with Alex earlier. Okay, double threes, covers and hits. That is a great shot, of course. Has to be a clear play. 4-5. Yeah.
Okay, again now.
Okay. So we brought one down instead of stepping out into double hit range. Okay. And he would have stripped his 6-point had he hit me with the 5.
Yeah, I think that's touched too early. Clear play. 4-5. Yeah.
Okay, again now.
I think that's touched too early.
Maybe not. I mean, again, at this score.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: if Steve can take, if it's a no double for money, and as you were sensing, you're not even thinking you're doubling at this score, but
it's not a double for money. This count.
Then it's a take at this score.
Yeah.
But I think it could well be a double.
I just think there's just not enough threats. I mean, you got this still stack of 5 checkers on the 6 points, only like the 3 and 2s that hit.
Yeah.
Steve has a very solid front structure. I think it was a small no double. I don't know, like a medium.
Be interesting to see what our chatty friends say.
I'm pretty confident about that actually, but it could be.
When they say chatty friends, there's people inside the audience watching this, and some of them are using XG, so they know what XG thinks is the proper cube action, and so they're posting it inside the chat box. Okay, so I rolled a clunker. And I did the best I could with that clunker, right?
That's great.
Ooh, ouch.
2-3.
Where's the last one? Probably down as well, yeah.
Ouch.
And a down.
That was a huge swing and double 6s and then a dance.
Right.
Okay.
4-1.
Gotta split that checker.
Split first.
So, see a little bit of daylight there.
Oh,
No, Mike.
Yeah, that's what often happens when
Not Mike thing. All right, 6-2.
cubes.
I think I want to at least. I'm inclined to run 24-16. So that.
Yes.
Or 20 or 24-20. I would probably run one of them out. I don't know which of the two.
Yeah, the problem with not running out is you just leave more hit. You don't want to be hit loose right on the 3-point. You want to stay there. Because if you get hit loose, then Michael gets the time to.
Okay, so I was forced to come in with 1. I'm going to hit on the deuce point. No matter which play I'm going to make, I'm going to hit on the deuce point. I'm going to hit something, first of all, because I don't want him to use his stack of checkers on his 8, 7, 6, 5 to come and pound on top of me. Right? So of all the other plays that do something from the 13-point or from the 7 and the 6-point, I'm going to hit with the deuce.
We make the 9 for next.
Yeah, I'm going
Okay.
to got 1 more to play.
That's my play.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm playing an attacking game, right?
Bring the bar point
I'd
side.
like to win 4 points with a gammon.
But the 3 points is much better than the 2-point.
Oh, what a great goal.
I guess the other play was better. Results on your thinking. Okay, so what does this do here? I guess it's
2. And
I mean, the big play would be to hit and split, but you don't need to. I mean, you're barely. I would just hit.
I press the attack. Yeah, I do too.
You're not in a rush to split off your anchor yet.
All right.
Okay, bad. I didn't hit it.
And once he makes that 5 prime, it's going to be very tough for Mike.
Yeah.
So there's the
cover
4.
comes out.
Yeah.
I would go
Easy
down.
play. Knows it. Yeah, that's very. This is
I've got my
Tough
dancing
one
shoes
for
on.
Mike. 6-4.
now you attack.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Probably you should. It just buys you time to get the rest of your checkers around the
And
board.
just stops him from anchoring. And that anchor is a permanent
That's what
foothold.
you want to hit next. He does not want to enter anchor on the 3-point.
Another great roll. Steve.
Hey, are you enjoying this, Alan?
No, no fun for you on that one.
I'd have decent chance if I just rolled an ace now.
Hit on that ace point only if he can. Double 4. Can he? Oh, look, he can get there all the way from the 17 to 1. I think that's what he should do.
Yeah,
Right?
there's nothing else to do.
All the way, just as long as you see it.
Oh,
You
no,
don't-
no, no.
I know that's tempting.
He doesn't see it. Steve.
I think he didn't see it.
No. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't need to win a gammon. He just
Yeah, it's also not such a. I mean, it's not such a huge equity loss because you only lose on double 5s, really. But I mean,
He's got a dilemma.
Now he's
Does he
saying,
make the
well,
5
it's
point?
nice.
Does he come out with the back check?
Well, I just only think he would have paused to think of it. Steve might have made the right play, but I think he has to. I think he didn't see the 17. The 17 to 1 shot, or the 17 to 1 play, as it's called. Wow. He may not even want that 4th checker since he doesn't need a gammon, much less a backgammon.
yeah, it could potentially be more accurate not to do that, but of course,
He might.
typically it's not going to be an error to hit the 4th checker.
I guess, but right. It doesn't increase Mike's winning chance.
Okay, so what are they talking about right here? He only needs 2 points to cubes at 2. He doesn't need to win a gammon or more. So he just wants to maximize his winning chances. By hitting that 4th checker, it allows me to stay on the bar as he starts to clear, giving me more chances to hit him. Okay, so it doesn't change much in terms of the winning chances, but it might be right not to hit that one at all.
Chances by much, but Mike will win about 4 or 5% here, and now as Steve bears in and bears off, the thing to try and do is to actually create a tower of checkers on the 3-point.
3-point.
Okay, this is something I never heard before, right? You want to watch out for double 6s. How will those play?
Yeah.
And double 5s, the large doubles, and double 4s to make sure that you have a smooth distribution after this. So he does the right thing by breaking the 7-point. Okay, now the double 5s, double 6s all play really well. And double 4s too. But this is not something that XG sees really clearly. It doesn't see how one play is much different than the other.
It's and that's something I learned from Kit Woolsey, that it's like
Pre-clears the 6, which is also
he's clearing the 6. He just wants to give him time. See, this is why he wasn't sure about hitting that other checker. He just wants to give him time to come in. But again, if Steve can move a checker there to the 3-point. Now, he wants to leave 0 shots, but I think I go 8 to 3. Oh, that's okay too. But I mean, it's a 0 position, I suppose.
Somebody in the chat says they put the position in earlier that cube, and I guess I stand corrected. It was a cube.
Aha.
Hmm. Okay, these types of positions are pretty straightforward. He's going to take 2 checkers off to stay even and even. If he doesn't do that, if he pre-clears the 5-point, right? 5 to 3 and 5 to 1, he's now even and odd. And with 4 checkers on the bar, you could be leaving me a shot.
Number 2. Steve's saying 0 is 0. But again, watch that 3-point. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
If gammons matter, he'd be taking checkers off the 4-point, right? But gammons don't matter. He just wants to not get hit and he'll win.
Right, wants to win.
Now, the ironic is it was that lone final checker that does him, Steve, in, right? Watch Mike get 2 checkers in.
No. Was that necessarily correct to clear from the rear there? I guess.
Yeah,
it
I
was.
think.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 checkers on the bar. All right, now Steve is largely home free. This
playing
is
perfectly
Yeah,
safe.
great.
you can see sequences, but it's going to be pretty unlikely for. All right, and that's the match.
Yeah.
Well done, Steve. Mike, great to see you playing tournaments again. You were the heart of San Diego backgammon. You would be so proud to see what they're doing with San Diego backgammon now. But it was Mike who ran that for many years. Good match to both of you. Mike and Steve, 2 of the nicest guys too. You're going to play.
Yeah. Okay, so I'd never heard of, you're bearing off, closed board, 4 checkers against 4 checkers on the bar. They should stack it on the 3-point. And he said that's what Kit Woolsey told him, stack them on the 3-point, right? Okay, what are you guys seeing right now? Are you seeing the,
I can check also.
are you seeing the XG?
Yes.
Okay, so stepping quickly through the last game, because Jackie's getting anxious about watching TV here. I'm in the living room right now. 6-1 playing, making the 7-point. 5-4. You can see running is really close, right? So it's a toss-up between running and the play that Steve made right here. From here, rolled 6-3, and actually says you should just play it the normal way. You should play it this way right here, not break your 8-point. And it's a sizable difference, it says, right? And this is after a rollout. But I thought this match score, needing 5, needing 2, I thought I want to mix it up with them. Okay? And even running is better. Okay? So from here, he rolled double aces, right? Did he make the right play? It looks like he did. Yeah, he made the second best play, it says. It says you should have split. Okay? But it's close. Okay? And it's not on plus either, or anything close to that. Okay? So from here, I rolled double 3s. That's a pretty good shot. Did I play it correctly? In the second thing. So yeah, it says that he should have split instead of slotting on the 7-point. The double 3s, by far the best play right here. Hitting and keeping it going to take away his 6s entry from the bar. 5-4 force, and instead of stepping out in a double coverage, he dropped another checker down instead of coming out, which would be a sizable error. I doubled, right, from here. And XG thinks it's a double and it's a take. Okay, so proper cube action. Okay. And that's only because of the match score. Okay. This would not be a money double and take. Double, okay, would not be a money double. It'd be an easy take. Okay, so I roll 5-1 from here. And basically did the best I could with it. I had to leave a blot, no choice. You roll double 6s, a great shot. And the last one, it didn't matter too much whether he played it this way or this way. plus, I'm not sure what it would say. I danced from here. Right? He rolled 4-1. He says, time to start splitting so I don't get stuck with double fours and double fives here, and double sixes, which is by far the best play. I danced again, and both of those guys agreed that Steve made a mistake with this one right here, the 6-2 to play. Steve said, I'm going to bring another builder in so I can continue the blitz. And both of them said, hey, I think he should be running with something in the back. So this is the original position. He at least did the 2 correctly, right? But he should have kept one of them going to here, either coming out here or come out the other way, or even just running this way. So all 3 of these are better, and they split. They get these back checkers going to reduce the chance of them crashing.
Mm.
And they're all better than the play that he made right here. So from here, I will double fours. And it says, hey, look at all the top plays, 24 or 25 or bar to 21. You got to come in, right? That's a given. And then after that, the top plays also include either 7-3 or 6-2 to hit. And I thought because of distribution, I'm going to play 6-2. And then the choice was either make the 3-point or make the 2-point. Both of those are strong attacking game plans. Right? And after I made this play and then Steve rolled double deuces, Paris said, oh, I guess the other player's right. So rolls double twos. He hits, but does he have to hit, right? Does he have to hit? Okay. All right, Ed, feed the pup. I'll see you later. Just about done here, right? It's saying that maybe instead of the play they made right here, hitting was not as good as just pushing up to the 21 point or hitting loose and also pushing up to the 21 point again. Or no, let's see. Yeah, pushing up to 21 point, right? But it says, hey, even though they thought it wasn't right to hit, Steve made the best play. Okay. 5-2, can't hit him back. 6-4, it's pretty clear he's got to make the 4-point and then step up with a 6. 5-4, dance again. 6-4. Should he continue to attack me? He doesn't. He's going to win more gammons, but he doesn't need gammons, right? He just needs to win this game. Or should he just keep running out here? Well, I can be a thorn in his side if I'm allowed to make an anchor. So I think he's right to, from here, attack. XG thinks that either one is good. Attacking on the ace point and making the point, or attacking here, right? The idea is to keep me from making the point. I roll 5-3 from here, and I can't come in, or I can bring one in. It's force play. He rolls 5-2, of course, and that makes the 3-point. But XG saying, it's not as good, but you can hit twice, right, to completely deny me the anchor. So he did the right play. I dance again. He rolls double fours. So they're saying that from here, he should have gone all the way around from this point and hit loose on the ace point. I don't know if that's correct. Should he, he switched points, right? And XG thinks that it's right. Steve made the right play, switching points. Now I'm not going to be able to make the ace anchor anymore. Even though hitting loose would make it harder to make that point, but I do have a 3-point board, and he could dance a little bit if he said. So this is the best play, and so don't forget things like this when all you need is a plain win, right? Switching, you're trying to deny an anchor, switching points is not a bad thing. I dance, he makes his 5-point, and again, he could be running out instead. But he makes the best play, right? He's not afraid to crash here. Okay. I dance, he rolls 3-2. The question is, does he hit that other checker? I don't know that XG knows the right play, but it thinks that it's right to hit it. Is it right? Yes, from here. It says hitting the checker is best, like this, versus something like this right. So hitting the checker, where are we? Hitting the checker here is better than not hitting it and doing something else. Oh no, it says not hitting is better. Oh, really? Yes, it still thinks that it's slightly better, it says. It's close, but it's slightly better just to keep 3 checkers on the bar. The chances of them crashing are not good. I mean, not high at all. So you might as well ignore that instead of coming out. Okay. So, but once he does that, he needs to, as Art said, and Kit Woolsey told him this, is stack checkers on the 3-point. Okay. I had never heard that before.
You know why that's the case?
So remember when we looked at Mark's delicious position?
Mhm.
Okay, and we couldn't solve it right away, but we had to take a step back and look at constrained numbers. We had to look at ace point suction against that back game. We had to look at gaps, which is the biggest thing in his position. Right. So in this case, if you look at Michi's book about when your opponent has an anchor and you have your checkers in your inner board, like if he has an anchor on the 3-point, then 3s become the problem number. Right? They're constrained to come from the 5-point and the 4-point, and as opposed to, you can't play from the 6-point anymore. Okay? So I'm sure if we look at the step back and we look at the constrained numbers, 4 on the 3-point will be stronger than any of the other ones where he puts spares on these other points. Okay? So I don't know. I haven't proven it yet. Okay? But that's where I think that's where I suspicion. I believe that's why Kit found that to be the case.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to take some experimentation. Okay. Dancing again. He brings it around because he doesn't want to break down with double 3s, right? At least the 4, and you don't want to dump deep. You want to keep your checkers higher. I dance again. He rolls a 3-2, and actually doesn't see the difference in these plays right here, right? It says that we're looking at the wrong one here. 3-2-7-5-5. That one. Okay. I thought his play was right quickly, right? Clearing the 7-point. XG says, hey, you can pre-clear here. XG thinks this is better. It's safer. It's 0.4%. You win 0.4% more games. Okay. Sometimes it's not quite right to do that because if I roll double 6s, he could have trouble leaping my 1'. Okay, so he made this play right here. I roll 6-5 and still can't move. I'm still on the bar. He rolls 5-2 and he chooses to clear his 6-point now. And actually says on second thought, that is a good play. It didn't have it on the lower level of analysis. It didn't have it as the best play. Okay, so he pre-clears here. I roll 3-2 and can't come in. He rolls 3-2 and he plays 8-5, 4-2. Actually says on plus, I think that this is a better play because you're clearing the 5 point already. Okay. I roll double threes and dance again. He rolls 4-2 and takes 2 off, right? Which better to stay even than to play this right here, which risks double 5s, double 6, double 4s, and leave a blot next turn. Okay. From here, I roll 5-2 and can't come in. And he rolls double 4s from here. He plays it super safe, right? If you needed gammons, then it's right to make this play right here. And other match scores where it might be right to do this. From here, I dance again. Oh, I play 5-1. I enter 1 checker. 2-1, he clears from the rear, and it wasn't obvious to them that this is the best play. It looks like XG thinks that that's the best play, and the other ones are errors. 5-2, I bring another one in. 5-1, he plays super safe. 5-2, bring another one in. 5-2, he plays super safe again. And 6-4, I resign. Okay, but we have finished.
Mike, what was your what does XG say your luck was on that last game? Because it looked like it was pretty bad to me.
Bad rolls for you. Yeah.
It thinks, let's see, make sure you guys can see the same thing. Can you guys see the board right now?
No.
No.
You have to start sharing again. Oh, let's share that one. Okay. It says on this last game, the summary says on the game, we both played at world class. I played 3.97, he played 3.95. It says that my luck was not so great, right? Minus 0.89. So in terms of percentages,
His luck was much higher.
it was like, it cost me about 26% in match equity.
It's a lot.
Or for this game. For this game, cost me that much. That's quite a bit of bad luck.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, stopping the share again. Okay. Anything else before we go? Again, Jackie is anxious to watch TV.
More
Well,
good lessons. Thanks.
Well,
Thanks.
thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a
Thank you.
good
Thank you,
evening.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you for making me go over this stuff, now and before in preparation. Okay. So the good thing about the stuff I wrote on the opening rolls is I can use that inside the Fuji Backgammon Dojo.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty helpful, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And